Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe or follow no matter where you're listening. And by the way, if you have a movie you guys want us to see, be sure to include it in that comment section wherever it exists. Now, I know our spooky time is over, but we just have to swing one more for the fins. Fellas, this is Anaconda.
Anacondile Dundee, starring Jon Voight doing his best Razor Ramon voice and caricature, because boy oh boy is he oozing machismo.
Oh,
Is that what he's oozing?
it looked like sweat, and I don't want to call it shame, but he knows he's not a good guy.
He's the bad guy.
Duh.
Yeah, so I remember watching this movie. This came out in 1997, and I definitely rented this as soon as I could. Probably watched it a few times on the TNT or TBS in the years following, and
Right.
it's probably otherwise been like 25 years since I've seen this movie. It's okay.
By any means, this movie is one of the movies of all time. And I just gotta put it out there. Like, this movie starts by checking some boxes, and you know what? Good on it. It'll just get it the fuck over with.
I won't say I love this movie, but I will say I have watched all of the Anacondas, all the way up to Blood Orchid, okay?
Oof.
Oh my god.
And I have followed the story in detail. It does not get better, gentlemen. It just gets more snaky, and sometimes the snakes may or may not be in or around planes.
Ooh.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like, what story are you talking about? Like, I don't even know if I'd be interested in seeing any other Anaconda movie without Jon Voight. Those are movies that I have to avoid.
Man, Jon Voight just feels real out of place here, right? Even if he doesn't put on that ridiculous accent, even if he doesn't try to say that he's from Paraguay, he does not fit this movie at all.
I think that he is the only redeeming quality of this entire film.
There it is, yeah. That's the side that I'm on, because, like, everybody is treating this movie a little too seriously. He's the only one that showed up right on par.
Yep, he understood the assignment. He came in and went, I'm going to be this fucking weird, eccentric hunter character. I got to give it to British colonialism, too. Mr. fucking bad guy from Jumanji. He gets the assignment as well. Those two guys, they knew what they signed on for.
I'm cool with Ice Cube being on this boat, too. He doesn't know what he's doing there. I don't know what he's doing there either. I don't know if they gave him, like, a reason to be there other than he's, like, J-Lo's friend from back in the day or whatever. He's just, like, he just got fired on his day off and had nothing better to do.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. And it kind of comes off that way because he's very much top billed, and he just kind of shows up the scenes whenever.
Yeah, they drop him in there. His whole reoccurring theme from the start of the film to pretty much the end of the film is, do you want me to cut this man? That is it.
Man, I cut you up so bad. You gonna wish I not cut you up so bad.
Man, I really wish he did by the end of it.
He should have done it at the beginning of it. Shit. But really, though, he's just there to be to have street cred. This boat needs street cred. This is a bunch of otherwise, like, white people that don't need to be anywhere near the jungle.
Right.
And, like, a vaguely Hispanic Kid Rock. Ice Cube is the only one there with any damn common sense. He's keeping this boat on the river.
This movie is checking the boxes, right? Like, this movie just, like, has to get these guys in the situation. They're going on a cool adventure and they don't know what's in store. Check. I know the movie has like 20 minutes to set up everything, but this movie is just like cranking that shit out like a factory, and God love it for it.
Yep. Character introduction, character introduction, character introduction, character introduction. Go one scene, another character introduction. Let's go.
That was easy.
As soon as you meet them, they start either killing or incapacitating them as well, because they're like, here's Danny Trejo. There goes Danny Trejo.
Oh, yeah.
The heroin dealer from Pulp Fiction. There goes the heroin dealer from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, we start out with a little prologue that is just Danny Trejo, who is, like, I know him my entire life as being, like, the badass Mexican. He's speaking Portuguese in this. Okay, he can do that, sure. And literally, he's only there to climb a pole, get real scared, and shoot himself in the head.
Listen, he just really didn't want to go to jail because they'll just put him right on Con Air.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Don't want to be with that Steve Buscemi guy back there. He's bad news.
What are you in for?
I'm doing a one-nighter for biting Ed the mailman.
This movie's sci-fi quality monster flick mixes with the film you're speaking of, Con Air, and we get Anaconda, starring Nicolas Cage as Mateo.
Guys, the snake is the plane.
Ooh.
Why don't we have that?
Look, I'm real mad at sci-fi. I've been shooting some real zingers at them on threads, and they haven't replied a single fucking time. Okay? Come on, Taco Bell, Tarantalupa, where are you?
Okay, before we get going on this boat cruise, let's get an introduction of the whole crew. First and foremost, we've got J-Lo, Jenny from the block. She is a USC graduate documentary film director or whatever. She's trying to make a movie about this Shiri Shama Shabadudubi tribe. I don't know what it is. They probably don't actually exist.
That's even brought up in the movie, too. Like, yeah, we've never heard of these people. What are you talking about, clearly creepy Jon Voight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw them right up this other tributary. They do this one thing with the weird stuff, and Professor Dude's like, no, that's another tribe. I studied them.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
I assure you, it's the Sashimi tribe. He's like, sir, that's sushi or something.
Mr. Jon Voight, that is shawarma.
Fucking Jon Voight.
Jon Voight, absolutely. I love it. Like, I kind of understand where he's coming from, because he's supposed to be on this like little trio. Spoilers, this whole interaction has been set up by the driver of the boat, Jon Voight, and Danny Trejo. They're gonna like kidnap everybody, try to get this snake, whatever.
Wait, Danny Trejo has any connection to this boat at all? I just thought he was out there just being like a poacher or something. I thought that was completely independent of the boat ride.
No. That was like the whole circle thing, like when they like diverted course and found that place all busted up. It's like, oh, there's going to be gas there. I know, I see gas. You know, whatever the fuck he was trying to go on about. That was the place where Danny Trejo got.
Well, let's run through the rest of this boat crew real quick. We've got the professor who studies the Amazon tribes. That's the dope dealer from Pulp Fiction. We got Ice Cube, already covered him. J-Lo's friend from Back on the Block. We got Mateo, looks like Kid Rock, but is like the boat captain. He's the driver of everything, at least, you know, for a little bit. Owen Wilson is in this movie. Did y'all remember that?
Wow.
Genuinely did not. When I saw him, because like I was just already pre-taking notes, like writing down everyone who I knew was in there. I look up and I see him standing on the dock, and I went, oh, fuck, I forgot he was in here. Yeah. And I know I'm jumping ahead. But his best line is his wow delivery whenever he is swallowed by the snake, or actually asphyxiated by the snake, and it crushes him and his breaths come out. And he's like, wow. It's fucking great.
I mean, that was his shtick back in the day. He would show up in a horror movie and get about a half hour in and just leave.
Imagine if that was his entire career. What a better America we would have had.
He's already dead.
All right, so we've got another young lady who is the production manager of this documentary. I have her down as Baby Bird because that's what Mr. Jon Voight calls her. She's really just there to be horny for Owen Wilson. Don't know why that's who she chose, but okay.
Well, Owen Wilson himself stated very clearly that, like, wow, the rainforest makes you horny. Wow.
He does. That's a fucking cringe line.
It's about as rough as the fact that after he says it, probably genuinely 10 minutes in the film, you get Mr. Jon Voight leaping on board like a fucking just sexy jaguar, just full of aggression and rage. And he's like, don't you want to go and bang in the jungle? And he's like, yeah, I do.
No, that's the Sex Panther.
60% of the time, it works every time.
And then the last person on this boat is colonial British dude. No idea why he's there. It's the like hunter poacher guy from Jumanji. He was also on Titanic, but I know him as the guy from Jumanji. Basically the same character.
He plays like a presenter, like from the BBC or something like that. Because like when the camera gets pointed at him via Ice Cube, he gets into his whole shtick like, look over here, there's a majestic leaf and stuff like that.
Well, if he's supposed to be presenting for BBC, shouldn't Ice Cube be there?
That's BET.
God damn it. God damn it. Shall we press on?
I don't want to say he's the comic relief, but really everything he said was just so theater kid. I didn't know what to think.
Yeah, it's like he needs to be in a movie with like Dame Judi Dench or something.
Oh, did he take this movie like Michael Caine took Jaws 4?
Yeah. But yeah, the objective is to go deep into the Amazon with this motley crew and film a documentary about this mysterious Shabashimi tribe.
Did you guys actually buy that though?
No.
Like this whole thing, like it just seemed really kind of haphazard. Like you have this expedition. Sure, you want to go do some documentary in the middle of nowhere. Fantastic. There's just Ice Cube with a camera.
Is that what he's there? Like, okay, I saw him with the. Is he like actual camera guy, or is he just like dude who's there who can hold a camera?
Just camera guy.
Yeah, because like he has the bandolier of batteries and he has this camera, and then Owen Wilson's supposed to be the sound guy, I guess.
Yeah, they did drop that once, and then they go into the jungle. They make up the excuse that they want to capture some natural sounds, but really it's just to get his penis out.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a pretty natural sound.
Spit on that thing. You get me?
You like snakes? Let me show you a trouser snake.
Dude doesn't have a shot. There's a bigger one out there, anyways.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
It just seemed like once you realize like how loose this movie is and how it really is kind of saying to the audience, don't worry about it. We're getting there. We're almost to the crazy snake stuff.
What got me was the immediate fact that Jon Voight gets picked up, and you know he's looking at Mateo. Mateo's looking at him. It's not hidden that some shit's about to go down. Those two are in cahoots. You know right as soon as you see them. But what gets me is, why did they need to take this boat from them? It was Mateo's boat. Like, why didn't they just go without this crew?
Because they wanted to hijack them. They were in cahoots. Like, so I'm interjecting this logic, by the way. Just like, I think this is how it must have happened. Otherwise, it is horseshit. And what are we talking about?
I need some of this. Give it to me.
Film crew needs a boat. He's like, trust me, I'm boatman, but really they're in cahoots with Jon Voight and Danny Trejo, so they take him along, and the whole idea was just to kidnap them, and...
Oh, maybe use them as bait?
I think you're right, because like they were taking him back to Danny Trejo's place anyway, then they saw that he got by the snake, and the whole thing changed for them. I think that's why like the turncoat happened a little later than it should have.
Okay.
Oh my god. It's just like the scene in Jaws. He's like, Owen Wilson, go out there. By the snake, I need something in its tummy for scale.
Sure.
Something in its tummy for scale. But before we get to that, there's the first big thing that happens that causes a ruckus is like a rope gets caught in the propeller and, we're suddenly stuck. Professor, why don't you go out into the water and try and cut it?
Well, somebody's got to get out there and die. There's too many people in this damn cast.
Dude, for real. Like, that boat is too small for how many fucking people are in this film. I don't care what anyone says. Ain't nobody sleeping anywhere on that fucking boat. There's one room, and that's the damn engine room. And then there's one hammock and the fucking captain's booth. That was it.
Okay, answer me this. There's a scene about the guy we're talking about. He gets hurt. They have to, he's incapacitated and he has to lay down for the rest of the movie. Good for him. Easy paycheck, right? Where is that room?
I got nothing.
It makes about as much spatial sense as the way the mill at the end of the film appears. So they talk about how this Shirashama tribe or whatever has never been seen, etc., etc., etc. You have to go way up the fucking jungle. There's barriers. You have to go follow a legend of the hidden temple, etc. And if you do all that and then you take a left, you're at the local sawmill. Like, what the fuck?
No, you got to put together that silver monkey first.
Damn it.
Yeah, don't let the Guardians take your little medallions.
All I'm hearing is that this movie would be 300% better if Ice Cube had to solve a puzzle.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. He had to put together one of those big idols that they passed. Money.
So this dude, the professor guy, the like other good, capable man on board, I guess, aside from British dude, he gets stung in the throat by an underwater wasp in the inside of his throat. So Jon Voight has to trach him? Or, why is he swallowing wasps?
I think it's heavily implied later on that like one of the bad fellas did that.
How?
Look, man, only thing that I know is like I knew that guy wasn't an A-lister and he had to get out of this shit somehow.
This is Jon Voight's opportunity, Jon Voight, to say, oh yeah, that tributary that I told you to take before, yeah, there's there's a hospital there, we can take him to that. Or you can go back and it'll cost us 2 days. It is your choice.
Aren't you just tired of characters rolling into movies and their entire source is trust me, bro?
Right.
They all fucking buy it. They all go, yeah, we should. I'm going to tell you right now. And I know movies got a movie. And I know that we could never have a horror movie with common sense. But if my only option was go deeper into the jungle or turn around, I'm going to fucking turn around.
Yeah, the movie tries to like fight that reason off. You know, just like, get that out of here. We need nonsense. Because like they go through those conversations with Jon Voight and they're so vague. He's like, nah, you go this way. You get 15 hours, 10 extra points and all that. I trust me, bro. And they get to this part where it's completely blocked. Not like a tree fell over in the storm that happened like 2 days ago or anything. Like, this is a wall built with intent to keep something in or keep everyone out. And Jon was like, I can fix that. Boom. In minutes.
Hey, look, I made a bridge. It only took me 10 seconds. 11 tops.
Like, he just happened to have a bag full of dynamite. Just like he didn't know that this wall was there. It was like, yes, I know the river. It wasn't here last time.
Good thing you brought dynamite just in case it was.
Right?
But not like he had some dynamite left over. Just like almost an inordinate amount of dynamite. Like a sack full of like 6 bundles. And you're just like, I don't know, man. You sure you don't know anything about this wall or nothing?
Leftover dynamite.
In fact, the movie in reality should have like untwisted itself and maybe Jon Voight was right. Like that was a shortcut. It could have been his Moby Dick.
Yeah. Why didn't they just go ahead and lean into that and make this movie about him going out to get the snake? Why not just make it about them trying to document this creepy fucking weirdo Ahab basically trying to get his great white snake?
100%. That would have been a much better excuse for a story. By the way, let me just tell you all, I know I might not have a lot of agreements here, but I want to tell the audience right now, if y'all are out for like an expedition up the Amazon, I've been reading The Lost City of Z lately, so if y'all are looking for an expedition and you need human fodder, I've got nothing on in life. Holler at your boy, because I'm in. I don't care if it's a treasure hunt, you're trying to film a documentary, I don't care, I'm in.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, yeah.
You're a fucking madman. I
am.
I want adventure, but I don't want Junglefoot. Fuck that.
We're looking to be like sponsored by a mobile game, and Chan Man's trying to get out there in the most dangerous game.
Ooh. Go back and watch that one. That was a good one.
I didn't do fucking shit.
All right, so right about here's where Mateo, they start looking for fuel or whatever, and Mateo gets yoinked.
Man, everybody gets yoinked, and it's fucking comical. Not a single yoink in this movie did not make me laugh.
There's Mateo, and then a little bit later, actually, Owen Wilson gets recruited by Jon Voight and is like, "Hey, your movie's over. You wanna hunt this bitch ass of a snake for me, and we could make real money." Wow, that's a great idea.
It took no effort to make him his lackey.
Yeah, I will even give you a gun.
He's in.
Well, it's because they shared that moment where he's like, excitement in the jungle and danger makes you horny, right, Owen Wilson? It's like, oh, yeah, it does. How'd you know that my dick is hard right now?
As a matter of fact, I've been horny this whole boat ride.
His hard cuts to just like a wide shot. He just had like a massive erection, just like Anchorman or something. It's the pants.
Yes. The horrible CG Anaconda is just in his pants.
No, he's just straight up his character from Wedding Crashers. He's like, you know how they say you only use 20% of your brain? I think I only use 20% of my dick. So the next thing we got, we're going to do some night fishing. Jon Voight and Owen Wilson, they capture this monkey and want to use him as bait.
Capture is a very choice word there, Chandler. Jon Voight blasts a monkey out of a tree and scoops it up. And its mangled corpse is used as bait.
He doesn't even tell anybody. He just fires wildly somewhere. Everyone's spooked.
I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
And then this clod drops into the water. So like the worst possible thought goes into your mind.
So now he's got that mangled monkey. He puts it on a fishing line. They throw it out. They sing, "It's late and I want to go home." They have this whole moment. And bam, we get the titular snake on the line This motherfucker is ready to catch him some live animals.
Oh. And what I've got here today, it's a special collaboration between Brouwerij West and the Altamont Beer Works. This is live animals. They call this a West Coast Pilsner. This is a 5.5% alcohol by volume Pilsner. All right, so I don't really know what a West Coast Pilsner is supposed to be. I'm assuming it's just a Pilsner that's extra dry hopped or whatever. And that's really what I'm getting from this. It is a Pilsner. It is crisp. It is bready. It's pretty dry. And it's got like some green hoppiness right there in its backbone. This is pretty good, honestly. I wish more Pilsners were like this. You get a little bit more of a depth to the flavor. This is really solid.
Well, hey, you know what else is really solid? Jon Voight's face.
Oh, it's
He's
it's a thing of wonder.
Jon Voight's face, anytime he looks at Jennifer Lopez, anytime he looks at Baby Bird, anytime he looks at like really anyone where you can see his face, he's putting on this fucking snarl of a grin. It makes me uncomfortable.
He just stares though. He looks at everyone like he wants to know exactly how clean they are.
Oh my god.
And I swear to God, whoever just kept pointing the camera at him deserves an Oscar. It was some of the best relief shots I could ever think of. Like, there could be a conversation between J-Lo and whomever they're talking about, I don't know, their situation, where they need to go. And then, pow, Jon Voight just staring at him lustfully in the corner. It just made me laugh.
Is that lustful?
It's his lust. Now stay with me, gentlemen, because
Sure.
they've been on a boat. We'll say they've been out there for a week. They have not showered. They haven't got off the boat. It's too dangerous. They are all definitely in the stink stage.
Greasy.
J-Lo, being pestered by insects and God only knows what the jungle has to offer up, is taking a moment to, lift her hair, to catch a fresh breeze, to feel, a moment of relief from this onslaughted heat and just oppressive atmosphere of the jungle. Camera pans over to Jon Voight, who is leaning against, one of the support beams of the ship, his head at like a slight skyward tilt, nostrils flared, mouth downturned, eyes at like the thinnest squint possible, forehead fully wrinkled, teeth bared, as if he caught a whiff, like very primal, caught a whiff of her, and I know it's going to sound disgusting, but
Nah, do it.
her stink.
Ooh.
And he's fucking into it. He's like, yeah.
You got about 3 or 4 days before it starts, huh?
Oh my god.
man.
My God, that's greasy.
Lordy, like even in, like later in the movie, he's like, "Oh, it's been forever since I've had the woman," and like I fucking believed it. Like there's like little bits of conviction in this movie where I'm just like, "Oh shit, John's for real here."
So once the mutiny starts, like we have a little bit of a scene where J-Lo goes in and tries to like maybe not explicitly start a seduction, but like, maybe just rub up, get a little closer to him, maybe throw him off his game.
She's the big decoy, and she's pulling a Halle Berry with the make me feel good, but she's like, make me
Right.
feel safe.
Yeah.
But it's so gosh darn conspicuous.
It is very obvious.
Oh, dude, yeah.
The way she's like hanging at his door, looked like a puppy in the window. It's like, "Hey, what are you doing up here?"
Owen Wilson just got killed. Little Baby
Wow.
Bird killed too. I need a man in my life.
Maybe just saw that movie did killing like what's her name between his legs and just like, you know what? Maybe there's something there.
Oh, that scene. Yeah, I straight up thought that he was about to Hurricane Rana her right off that boat, and that would have been way better than what actually happened.
Suddenly, there it is. To this point, we have got to see like glimpses of like a tail or something like that. Classic movie monster where they keep it in the dark, keep it hidden, keep it secret, keep it safe.
Mhm.
And the practical of it actually looks pretty fucking cool. He hooks it on the line, and it
It
raises out of the
yeah.
water. It's whipping left to right, and you see it, and you go, "Damn, that's a big fucking snake. That would be terrifying." Almost in that same vein of like Lake Placid, where you see it, it's not real, but it's still very passable. You know what I'm saying?
That's on my list. We'll get there.
Wow, does it look great? Wow, does it look great? Until it eats Owen Wilson and goes into the fucking water, and it's just okay. The size of the practical effects snake is gigantic, and then the size of the CGI snake makes no sense and is constantly varying.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only is like the size inconsistent, but like you said, the quality is all over the place. I was gobsmacked by a shot of eating Owen Wilson inside the snake as it like turned around in the water under the boat. Like, what the fuck?
Okay. The practical effect snake, as you said, it looks really good. If they had been able to use that for every shot, I'd have no complaints at all. This shot with Owen Wilson looks like the Scorpion King.
I was kind of surprised how fucking ambitious this movie is. There were some crazy things in this movie, like the shots with like the tree and the waterfall falling off with Jumanji and stuff we'll talk about here shortly. That was wild practical stunt wrapped in some terrible CGI. Lordy. But like some of the action in this movie, it's like bigger than the movie's pants, but like they tried something. I'll give it that.
Yeah. And in 1997, mind you, the CGI, most of the CGI might have looked pretty good. I remember it being pretty good. But that was 1997. I was also fucking 12.
Right. Oh, and also I've been informed by top men that the little saying was too big for its britches. Thank you.
But now with that mutiny that we were discussing, British colonialism just smashes a golf club through the window and says like some horrible one-liner, and then they tie him up. It was so easy. But I do want to mention, I do think that he took a liberty in kissing J-Lo.
Right. That's a good point. Just because, like, I don't know, like, it's kind of like that kiss at the end of Ghostbusters. You just kind of feel that that's just unwarranted.
Yeah.
He's just like, what the hell, man?
You see your shot, you take your shot. In 1997, she hadn't had... We shouldn't mention Diddy, huh?
She also hadn't had her eyebrows this whole fucking movie.
No, she hadn't. They are gone. Who is plucking those out on the boat? Also, she's not growing any armpit hair. Oh, Baby Bird is still wearing a necklace and earrings. You gotta gross these people up a little bit.
It's probably just in their contract.
I didn't rig shit.
So we've got Jon Voight all tied up. This is where Baby Bird fucks up, tries to like stab him, and she gets, I guess, strangled for 10 seconds, and that does her in.
She gets squeezed. Because isn't that like the whole thing? Like, of course, the Anaconda's the monster, but like, Jon Voight is clearly a monster, and he's also got a squeeze attack down left, you know?
Yep. Really, the Anaconda is just trying to live. It's got to eat. It's not like it's a predator, but it's just doing what it needs to do to live. All these people are in his territory or her territory. I don't know. Jon Voight is a bastard.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in real life. Jon Voight, the actor, the human being, who I've actually met on a couple of occasions, had to fit that in. He was delightful. Jon Voight, his character in this movie, he is a bastard.
Oh man, if you ever get to sell him another couch, please get him to autograph a picture of him from this movie. I'll frame it up.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm absolutely gonna get a picture of him making that face.
It's the one where he's in the red shirt, you know. He's right in the frame. It just hangs with him way too long.
Oh, I know it's pretty, baby.
All right, so the next turnaround is where we get to this waterfall. It's like, oh,
Right.
this, have you ever seen anything so amazing? You know, everyone's in awe until the boat gets stuck.
Yeah, that was their whole shtick. Because, like, at this point, they were kind of, like, ready to go. You know, they got the bad guy tied up. They just have to get to A to B. Get Mr. Neck Guy in a hospital. That's still the plot, by the way. Don't forget, guys.
Sure.
He lays in that bed more than Jamie Lee Curtis lays in the bed in Halloween Kills.
Anaconda dies tonight.
40 feet of fear.
Oh, 40 feet. I think my big takeaway here is, like, the movie was just trying really hard to get these guys to separate because they're all on the boat. They're all in one spot. So British colonialism, aka Jumanji, he just kind of fucks off. I mean, how else is he going to get eaten alone? I guess.
Technically, they are trying to winch it. The snake attacks him in the water. He flees up the rocks where the snake then does the Jurassic Park poke my head through a waterfall. He's like, fuck this, I'd rather die. Leaps to save himself. The snake wraps itself around the tree, grabs him, and is like, no you don't. Like a yo-yo.
Yoinks him straight out the fucking air.
Like I said, this scene like this is very ambitious. Big action set piece. But, like, the CG is just so bad. Like, I just don't understand.
Or they could somehow do it practically. No, they can't do that practically. If the CG was better, the scene would have been so cool, but it's not.
The quality varies so much. I can take each individual scene and just like rate them in a tier system. Like this one, solid D.
You know who's got a solid D is Owen Wilson.
Especially now that rigor mortis is set in.
Yeah, no, he's getting those digestive juices in him.
Dude.
Oh man, he slid into something one way or the other.
Wow.
But what actually happens here is, as I mentioned, old professor guy who's been sleeping the whole damn time wakes up enough to put a trank dart in a Jon Voight. He drops off the boat, and we hear Mr. Ice Cube say, "Oh dang, the dart fell out." That's not going to matter at all, is it?
They then go down the river to the paper mill. How in the fuck is Jon Voight already there?
Well, like Chandler said, like with the whole dart thing, like you already knew like this wasn't the end. So the movie kind of like wastes your time a little bit. Like they get to the place and they just kind of poke around haphazardly.
Yeah, this is like our last stop. The boat wanders into like a logging camp, and they're like, "Oh, I bet there's fuel up there." It's all abandoned, and they're like, I don't know, guns that have been flood ruined, and everything around us is like 20 years old, but there's probably some good fuel up there, probably.
Jon Voight knocks out 2 people with 1 stick.
That's the next big internet sensation. 2 people, 1 stick.
Oh no.
Okay, I haven't talked about this yet. This is at the very beginning, but since we're at the end, I have to talk about it. Ice Cube at one point listens to himself on the radio. What are we doing here? You can't do that. You can't do that. Should be in the rules of a movie. If there is a character being played by a musician, you can't listen to that musician's music in the movie because it creates a split multiverse. What are we doing here?
In this universe, Ice Cube does exist. So that means the guy that Ice Cube is playing is not Ice Cube.
Well, I'll tell you, he's talking exactly like the way Ice Cube would talk. Like he's got his LA Dodgers cap on. Go Dodgers. They're about to win the World Series, by the way. He's talking about wanting to get back to LA, to the traffic, to the playoffs, getting a six-pack, all of this stuff. That's Ice Cube. He's talking about USC. That's Ice Cube.
So he's the cube playing the cube disguised as another cube. Yes!
Hundo.
These guys are pretty slick, though, because you got to think. They did this also in Black Dog with Randy Travis. He's like, I can't sing, even though they have his music playing on the radio twice.
I don't even know what that movie is.
It's got Meatloaf.
Oh. Like, in my head, I'm going more to, like, Crank. If we heard, like, a Dwight Yoakam song in there.
Well, we did The Fanatic with John Travolta, and that was directed by Fred Durst, and there was a very hard moment in that movie where they crank up some Limp Bizkit in that car when they're driving around.
But he's not actually in the movie, so it doesn't create that multiverse thing or whatever. We're not splitting off. That's just product placement at this point.
I mean, we got Reba McEntire on the radio whenever they found the station wagon and Tremors.
Does that happen?
Yeah.
I need to pay better attention.
Well, hell, in Back to the Future, Huey Lewis and the News are on the radio, and Huey Lewis is one of the judges at his high school.
I feel like that's okay because there's a timeline thing going on there. I feel like there's a little bit of an exception. I don't know. I actually haven't watched that movie in a while. But I feel like they're alluding to the fact that like Huey Lewis would become the Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis and the News, right? In the future.
So Anaconda is rated R for blood, horror, and trace amounts of time travel.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad to know that the MPAA got on that. Should we wrap this up? We got the monkey blood. There's a net capture.
Yep.
Jon Voight gets swallowed, and then they were like, man, he tastes like ass. I'm spitting him up.
Jon Voight gets regurgitated.
He sure does.
And I remember very briefly at the beginning of the movie, there was a nice little paragraph discussing how anacondas love to eat something, puke it up, and eat it again. That's just what they do. High five, anacondas. I'm sorry, you can't. And Jon Voight winks as a corpse.
Like, is he a corpse at that point? I know he's covered in, like, that stuff that, you know, when you get a can of Spam and you shake it out, it's covered in, like, the... He's covered in that.
He looks like a Vienna sausage, yeah.
But is he all the way dead? Or is he just mostly dead?
He's crushed, not chewed. So...
He's been swallowed and he'll probably be swallowed again.
I sure hope so, because that prop needs to cease to exist.
Oh. Okay, he spent some time in the movie describing being crushed by a snake as this like a warm embrace from a mother's womb. You know, it's crushing, kissing you, and he shows like the scar on his face that he got from eating pineapple, and it's so good because like you get the POV from not like just the inside of the snake's mouth, but like 6 foot back in the snake's throat when this bitch is like, guess what I can do?
I know, man.
Honestly, I thought that was really cool. There's a lot of bad things, a lot of bad shots. There's a lot of bad about this movie. That was really cool.
Once he's disposed of, we have to talk about how Ice Cube set up this whole Rube Goldberg contraption while J-Lo's at the edge of her life just trying to run away from this fucking thing.
All right. I don't get it. He uses a pickaxe, like trimmers, to hold this gigantic snake in place. And the snake is just apparently that stupid that it's like, I'm just going to ignore this gigantic pain in the rear of my body and continue to try to attack J-Lo, who is 6 foot out of my reach conveniently, while this man pours tanker fuel or what the fuck ever all over it, sets up a catapult, runs outside, blows it up, jumps off the roof of the Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah, she's trying to climb up the little smokestack, and of course, she just barely gets away because this is a movie. Right. Man, Ice Cube does all this fucking work for her. He saves her ass so many times in this movie. She's still running back to that little ass bitch in the bed.
Well, he's got the heroin.
Oh no, she got her hooked.
He got the hookup, bro.
That's 100% though. Like, Ice Cube set this guy up the entire movie. Like, when he comes back with his like superhero move and stabbed Jon Voight in the back, he didn't earn that. I don't know why he was there.
He's just there to be the guy in bed that you keep forgetting about until it's really convenient.
And guess what happened, y'all? They shoot the snake in the head. End of fucking movie. The Shishimi tribe shows up and they're like, yep, we're here.
Yeah.
And it's just like roll credits.
Even though this is not a rattlesnake, it is an anaconda, he does have his death rattle. And Ice Cube just calls him a bitch and goes on.
I'm still hung up on like the Tsushimi tribe or whatever, just being like 8 people in a boat, and that's the best they got. It's in the movie. They're real.
Yep. And Ice Cube's like, "Hey, hold on, let me go get my camera."
It made me laugh because like they were clearly all just like, you know, tribal naked, for lack of a better term. I was just like, man, leave him be.
Yeah, maybe just let it go.
They proved nothing. People could be like, you faked that, because they immediately leave because dude still has a fucking hole in his throat.
How do you know that any of those were the Shimishari tribe or whatever? They could be the Bukaluku tribe from Paraguay, the, something tribe from the Mato Grosso territory or whatever.
No, we're right there with you.
There's 100 or 1,000 different tribes out there. Like, I don't know.
That's just 6 big Voight-Anna sausages.
Oof. God. I just want to say, like, you could see how they treated the snake as a character. I don't think they would have given a single fuck about any kind of native.
No.
They didn't read anything. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, no research involved. It's a big snake, J-Lo, Ice Cube.
Yeah, that amounts to it, yeah.
It's a fun ride. Like, if you haven't seen it, you know what you're getting into. It's one of those great classic movies where you can just kind of turn your brain off and just have it on the TV and clean or something. This isn't a Hollywood blockbuster by any means, but it's gonna be there when you just need something to tune out to. I think there's a whole genre of movies that are just brilliantly made for that vibe, and this is one of them.
I agree. This movie is a lot of fun, man. I was having a blast watching this. That's totally because of Jon Voight. He rolled into this movie. He knew what it was going to be. It is by default dog shit, but it's supposed to be a good time. It's a creature feature. You bring your date to the movie. It's supposed to be goofy. There's kind of nothing for the first 15 minutes so you guys can smooch, and then there's some gross stuff later on. It's the same shit you've seen 50,000 times. But man, Jon Voight being this disgusting, sweaty, vaguely Hispanic man is something special. It's just infinitely entertaining. If anything else in this movie doesn't bother you, then you'll have a great time watching this.
This movie's not very good. It's a whole lot of fun, though. It's not good. It's fun. There's like 6 people in the cast, and you know all of them but one. It's fun. All right? It's not good, but it's fun. Sometimes that's all you need.
Well, there you have it. That was Anaconda, suspiciously missing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
If you have any feelings about the show or the movie, or any recommendations, leave it in that comment section below.
Make sure you hit all of the buttons, like, subscribe. If you've got any other ones, hit those too so you don't ever miss what we've got brewing up next for you.
Get out there and follow us on social medias. You can find us anywhere podcasts are available. Give us a listen, y'all. Sometimes we're funny. Like, we'll talk about anacondas and we'll talk about Jon Voight's sexy, downturned, just disgustingly delicious face.
Ugh. Ugh.